Welcome to my office. I'm going to show you a little bit about how I've been using Stitch and Jules together to create mobile web apps. So you're looking at Stitch right now, and Stitch just launched this new thing called Canvas mode, which I think is pretty cool and helps me organize my whole application and all of the designs within Stitch. So let me show you how I'm doing that, and then also I'll show you how I get it over to Jules to implement these screens. Okay, so I've asked Stitch to create a dashboard to help me manage my kids' calendar, and I gave it some instructions. I want it to be whimsical and kid-centric. So Stitch came up with this design, and you can see that I'm talking back and forth with Stitch, designing some of the additional screens, and I ask it, for example, here to show me a screen for calendar entry, and then we go on for a little while, and this is the design that Stitch came up with. Now, before Canvas mode, which launched today, you could only see a small snapshot of what was going on, and then you could basically scroll to see additional screens. But now I can actually zoom in and out. I can select things, I can move them around, I can organize them, and let me show you a little bit about everything that Stitch has designed for me here. I have the calendar app here. I asked it to implement some milestones. I asked it to implement, based on those milestones, a sticker chart for some various different accomplishments. And then I have this nanny coordination where I can actually have conversations with my nanny if I want to. And I have some settings here. And then I also asked it to implement the screens for when you click on this blue add button in the calendar. And so it went ahead and added screens built out the entire flow for adding calendar details. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually zoom out here. And how I got this into Stitch was I highlighted everything, and then I went ahead and I hit download. And what this is going to do is actually download the code for these screens. So I'll show you a little bit about what the code looks like. If I go to this menu here and I click on code, it's going to actually show me the HTML and CSS for each one of these screens. And this is really useful when I'm working with a coding agent like Jules, because I can just add this directly to the repository that I have Jules hooked up to, and then Jules can actually reason about what the design should be in code. I can add a actual screenshot. I can give Jules a screenshot of the design, but if I can actually give it the markup, I might as well do that. So this feature is not available to everyone yet, but this feature to download all of the code, but it does give me access to a zip file with all of the code in it. And so I can show you what that looks like here. So all of the code actually exists in this design file, and it's giving it to me in a .stitch file. So you can see this is the exact same thing that I just showed you. This is all the code for all the HTML and CSS for every single one of these screens. Okay, so let's go over to Jules and I'll show you what happened. So I asked Jules to build me a mobile app using the markup found in this design folder. And then I gave it a little bit of information about all of the screens that I wanted it to build out. And I also gave it a little information about the application itself. I want it to be fun and whimsy. I asked it to pay close attention to aspect ratio for implementing the designs, and then told it that it should be responsive and work on mobile. So it gave me a plan to be able to do this, and it has things like implementing the navigation logic, front-end verification, and then it's going to submit the code. So as I'm scrolling down, you can see that it is building out these pages, and then it also wrote this playwright script to be able to provide a verification for me right in the activity feed here in Jules on what it did. And then I can also go through and I can look at all of the logic that it has implemented and the various different pages that it's implemented to. So this looks correct to me, and what's cool about this screenshot that Jules took is it's actually a screenshot of a mobile version of the site. Okay, so it says that it's ready for review, and I actually opted to open up a PR, and so I went and I did that, and then I merged that PR into this repository, and I went ahead and I deployed it. So let me show you what this looks like. So this is the actual deployed site. This is what Jules built for me. And I've been clicking around in here, so it has this back button. Okay, so this week, this is what I have scheduled. And I don't have this working with live data yet, and so this is all just dummy data, but it gives me some information on what we have planned for the kids for the week, and I have implemented milestones. I can go to the stickers page, and it shows me all of the stickers that my kids have earned, and I can go over here to the nanny coordination area. I can add activities, I can message the nanny, and it implemented the settings screen. So all of this, it implemented the entire application on the front end side in probably about 20 minutes. And so this saved me a lot of time going from not having to design it. I got the design all from within Stitch for all of these screens. And then I took that over to Jules. I didn't write any code. I just said, hey, can you wire this up for me? And it did it. So now all I have to do to get this thing up and running, since it's deployed, is hook it up to a database and start adding content to it.